If you're into AI tools or have dabbled with AI agents, you probably heard of OpenClaw by now. It's been all over the internet lately. People praising it for privacy, others flagging security risks. I had my doubts, so I just tried it myself. Today we're covering 3 things: how to install and configure OpenClaw, how to connect and engage to it via Telegram, and how we can integrate it with your own data and tools. I'm running OpenClaw on a remote Linux server. You can do the same on your local machine. The steps are nearly identical. We'll be connecting to our OpenClaw instance via channels. These are different messaging interfaces for OpenClaw. And on the other side, I have an N8N running locally, which is where my actual data and tools live. To connect the two, I'm using ngrok to expose my local N8N to the server. You won't be needing this if both your OpenClaw and your tools are on the same network or machine. So why put N8N in the middle? I just don't want to give the assistant direct access to my data. The N8N layer means I can control exactly what it can see and do. If any of that sounds unfamiliar, like the server setup, ngrok, N8N, drop a comment below and I'll cover it on the next video. We'll start with setting up our server. OpenClaw requires a node installation, so we'll start with getting that up and running. Version 22 is what I'm using here. Once node is installed, I'll grab the shell command that OpenClaw provides to start the installation. You'll notice the security warning on here. Please read and get familiar with it. Pick yes, then quick start. When we get to the model provider, I just picked one of the cheapest I found for OpenClaw, which is Minimax. It cost me about $10 a month. It does impose a usage limit for the 2.7 version to every 5 hours, but it's fine for small use cases like ours for now. Let's pick the global version. I'm going to grab that API key right here. Once that is set, we'll move to the channel choices. Channels are basically a way for you to easily interact with OpenClaw. OpenClaw gives you a dashboard where you can chat with it, but they also give you a ton of different options to have a conversation besides that. We'll use Telegram. It's the quickest to get working anyway. So to get Telegram to work, we need to create our bot. Let me pull up Telegram and look for bot father. We send a /new bot to it, and then we name our bot after it responds. Great, it will give us an access token that we need to give OpenClaw to. Let's come back to the server setup. It will ask you for the Telegram bot token. We'll skip the search provider and the skills for now. I want to do the skills manually so you guys can do that yourself later. Let the installer do its thing. Once it's done, we'll check that the gateway came up correctly. So what is a gateway? Think of the gateway as the engine of OpenClaw. It's always running in the background and everything flows through it. Your messages come in, it figures out what to do with them, and sends a response back. No gateway, no assistant. You can always verify if it's up if you run OpenClaw gateway status. If it's running, you're good to go. Now, technically you could just open the dashboard in your browser and start chatting, but that kind of defeats the purpose. One of the benefits of OpenClaw is that your AI assistant lives where you already are, your phone. So let's connect it to Telegram instead. We already created a Telegram bot earlier. Now we just need to open it and start a conversation. That's it. No extra steps, no app to install. When we message the bot and confirm the pairing by following the command it shows you, it's just an added layer so it is sure you are who you are. Once that's done, you're in. Your assistant is live. Perfect. Now let's make it actually useful. This is where skills come in. So now your assistant is live. It can chat, answer questions, think through problems. But right now, it only knows what it came with out of the box. Skills are how you teach it new things. Think of it like hiring someone smart. They're capable on day one, But if you want them to check your calendar, pull your sales data, or talk to your other tools, you have to tell them how. That's what a skill is. From a technical perspective, it's a simple instruction file that says, when the user asks about X, here's how to get that information. So you write it once. After that, your assistant just knows how to do it. So let's go ahead and check the out-of-the-box skills first. So to start off, we need to navigate to OpenClaw workspace and create the skills directory inside it. Each skill gets its own folder. Let's create one called Personal Calendar. These folders will need a markdown file named skill. This is where we place our instructions and the URL that it needs to call if it does need to do that. I'm copying a template I already made for it. So let's run OpenClaw skills list and you'll see it appear at the bottom of the list. So to get that up and running, we need to restart the gateway. Cool. Now let me quickly pull up the N8N endpoint we are using in that skill. This is a very simple workflow that just waits for a request and immediately responds with an array of JSON. Now again, to have that accessible on the internet, I use ngrok to expose my local instance. Let's go back and see if our gateway is up. Nice. Let's pull up Telegram and start checking if our skill is up. We can do this by restarting a session first. Whenever there's a restart on a gateway or new skills that we added, we need to restart our session by typing /new, at least for Telegram. There, you see it at the bottom. So on the side, let's pull up N8N to see the requests coming through. Here, you'll see the list of schedule that OpenClaw got from the workflow. Now let's go a step further and put an AI agent behind the skill. This time, we'll wire in Mistral as the model handling the request. Let me pull up the N8N workflow. Similar to the previous one, we'll be using webhook nodes, but we'll place the agent in the middle to process our data. Here's the scenario. We're a small business that buys and sells flesh and blood cards. It's a collectible card game. We have a month of sales history stored in a JSON file, and we want the assistant to tell us what to restock and what to offload based on that data. The N8N workflow reads that file, runs it through the Mistral agent, and sends back a structural recommendation. Same steps as before to wire it up. Create the skill directory, fill in the skill markdown file, restart the gateway, restart the Telegram session, and ask. Honestly, OpenClaw is not magic. At its core, it's a structured way to give an AI assistant access to your tools and data. You define exactly what it can do through skills, and it does that thing very well. Instead of writing code for every automation, you describe what you want, and the assistant figures out how to do it. Like any tool, though, be thoughtful about what you give it access to. The N8N layer we use today is a decent pattern. Keep a boundary between the assistant and your raw data. If you have questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. I hope you learned something new today.